Boris Arduch had flown to Moscow for a film festival where his latest movie was being screened. The city, draped in snow and sparkling lights. If you like the video, please subscribe and comment. Looked like a fairy tale. At the same festival, Elçin Sangu had been invited as a guest star for a theater collaboration between Turkey and Russia. Neither of them knew they were about to cross paths in the most unexpected way. On a cold winter night, with the Kremlin glowing in the distance, Boris first saw Elçin wrapped in a red coat, her hair catching the falling snow. She was laughing softly with friends, but the moment she turned, her eyes locked with his. Time slowed. The next day, fate brought them together at Red Square. Elçin was struggling to take a selfie in front of St. Basil's Cathedral. Boris, noticing, walked over and offered to help. She smiled, and as he clicked the photo, a street musician started playing a soft violin tune. "What a coincidence," Elçin said. "Turkey feels far away, but somehow I feel at home now." Boris chuckled, maybe because two strangers from Turkey just found each other in Russia. A week later, both were invited to St. Petersburg for an event. Instead of taking flights, they decided to board the famous Russian train. Inside the cozy compartment, with snow-covered forests rushing by, they shared tea and long conversations. Elçin spoke about her passion for theater, Boris about his journey in cinema. Their laughter filled the small cabin, and when the train stopped near a frozen lake, they stepped out, walking hand in hand on the icy platform, their breaths visible in the frosty air. It was no longer just friendship, it was something deeper. In Murmansk, they traveled to witness the northern lights. Wrapped in fur coats, standing under the vast green and purple skies, Boris whispered, "This is beautiful, but nothing compared to you." Elçin blushed, the lights reflecting in her eyes. Slowly, he held her hand, and under the dazzling aurora, their first kiss sealed the beginning of a love story that neither time nor distance could erase. As their journey came to an end, Elçin worried, "When we return to Turkey, will this magic disappear?" Boris gently touched her face and said, "No matter where we are, in Istanbul, Moscow, or anywhere, this is real. Russia gave us the beginning, but our hearts will write the rest." And with that promise, the love story of Boris Arduch and Elçin Sangu in Russia became a memory etched forever in the glow of winter lights. Moscow wore winter like a crown, snow lifted in glittering clouds as wind crossed Red Square. Boris arrived for the film festival, collar up, breath fogging. He paused at St. Basil's, gingerbread domes under white velvet, and saw her, Elçin, red coat, copper hair catching stray snowflakes. She tried to selfie the cathedral behind her, but the angle kept missing the magic. "Want me to?" he asked, switching to Turkish, gentle grin. Her relief was instant. "Please. If I post another crooked onion dome, I'll be exiled." He framed the shot, waited for the perfect gust of snow, clicked. The picture looked unreal, like a postcard that learned to breathe. "Send it to me," she said. "Only if you promise coffee," he laughed. They exchanged numbers, not ready to call it fate, just a good photo and a better feeling. They met at a cafe that smelled like chocolate and violin rosin. Steam curled off black tea in glass cups, spoon handles clinking softly. "What brings you to Russia?" Elçin asked. "Festival screening," he said. "And you?" "Theater exchange, workshops with a Russian troupe." She shrugged, eyes bright. "It's scary." "Which I think means it matters." He remembered a director once telling him the same thing, fear is just the weight of meaning. Outside, snow got heavier. Inside, conversation got lighter. They argued about favorite films, confessed to midnight snacks, and compared Moscow taxi playlists. When they stepped back into the white swirl, Boris offered his scarf. She refused, he insisted. She looped it on, cheeks pink. St. Petersburg next week? She asked. I'll be there, he said, surprised at how certain it sounded. They parted with a wave that felt like a promise. They skipped the flight and took the night train to St. Petersburg, as if speed might scare away whatever this was. In the cabin, the window flickered with fir trees and frozen rivers like silver scars. Boris brewed tea from the samovar and poured it into paper cups. To questionable decisions, he said. To good ones pretending to be questionable, she replied. They swapped stories, her first stage role with a tight corset and looser nerves, his breakout film shot on a budget that barely fed the crew. The carriage rocked, and their knees touched, neither moved. A conductor strolled by, humming a folk tune. Elson softly matched the melody, and Boris joined, off-key but sincere. When the train paused near a frost-glassed platform, they stepped out for air. Silence held the world still. He took a photo of her profile in the cold, eyes up, lips parted, a halo of white breath. He didn't send this one. He saved it. In St. Petersburg, they attended a charity gala in a palace that seemed poured from pearl. Crystal chandeliers dripped light. The band played waltzes that sounded like snowfall. A producer intercepted Boris with a handshake and a caution, press is circling. Keep your image focused. Minutes later, a Russian choreographer hugged Elson, laughing in perfect Turkish, you must meet our director, he wants you for a spring residency. Good news shouldn't bruise, but it did. They retreated to a balcony overlooking the Neva, the river a dark ribbon under starlight. I might stay longer, she said, eyes searching his. I might sign something that makes my life busier, he answered. Timing's a comedian, she tried to joke. Or a thief, he said, too quickly. They danced anyway. Her head on his shoulder felt like the world choosing softness, for once. But when the music stopped, so did certainty. They chased the Aurora to Murmansk, bundled in heavy parkas, cheeks bitten pink. The sky was a dark canvas waiting for color. But the press had caught up. A headline pinged on Boris's phone, Arduç mystery companion, a new romance? The thumbnail was them on the train platform, mid-laugh. He cursed. This is exactly what I... What? Elson asked, walls sliding up in her voice. I didn't want this for you, he said. The noise. It's my life too, she said. You don't get to be my shield and my jailer. He flinched, she regretted it, cold turned their breaths into brief ghosts. The aurora arrived, green curtains, then violets, then a river of light that looked like the sky remembering how to dream. He reached for her hand, she didn't take it. Later, back at the lodge, he left a note on her door, I'm proud of you. If staying means staying without me, I'll still be proud. She didn't sleep. She reread the note until the letters felt warm. Pulkovo Airport, St. Petersburg. Announcements echoed in Russian and English. Departures split futures into neat columns. Elson stood with her passport, eyes rimmed red from the cold, or something else. The spring residency contract lay folded in her bag like a tiny future calling her by name.